My name's Eric Musgrave. I was born in Leeds in 1955. I am now a freelance writer on menswear. I wrote a book called Sharp Suits a couple of years ago, the sort of history of men's tailoring, which is what I specialise in now. When I look now at my kind of individual style, looking at beginning of the decade, 1970, my sister Sue got married at St Philip's Church in Osmonthorpe, and I recall having this suit, which I'm sure must have been made for me. Little navy blue pinstripe, single-breasted, quite fashionable for modern times, actually. So from 1966 to 1973, I went to Leeds Central High School. There's a great picture of me with probably my hair at my longest. I was desperate to look like Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin, which I think I achieved, although I do remember the school secretary telling me that I looked like a Cocker Spaniel. My pride and joy for quite a long time. When it was growing, I used to sellotape it to my cheek at night to stop the sideburns curling up. The things you do for fashion. Another picture of me in my long hair period, there was a short sleeve, proper Ben Sherman shirt. And funnily enough, Ben Sherman is now trying to get a few shirts made in England again so it can sell them abroad as the top of its range. The dungarees in 1977 preceded Dexy's Midnight Runners by at least 2 years, where it looks like I'm a member of a gay version of Oklahoma. I can justify every single haircut and every single item of clothing I've been photographed in, but the moustaches, I have to say, is struggling a bit. I wanted to look like Errol Flynn or Clark Gable, and I don't think I succeeded. There's a shot of me here about 1973-74. I had the most fantastic American raincoat with a detachable lining in a sort of green sateen. It was the most brilliant coat, and I do wish I still had it. And I've got a picture of me posing like crazy on the roof of Bieber in London, trying desperately to look vaguely like Brian Ferry, who was my hero. This one here, 1975, I remember that, one of the many fashion interpretations of a military look. That shirt was a kind of crinkled cotton in khaki. My big influences were American, which I didn't realise till we had this conversation. My lad who's 17 last year or the year before was going mental to get one of those, what do you call it, a varsity jacket. It was wool body and it had kind of fake leather, because it was kind of plastic fake leather sleeves. I looked all over to try and get a letter E or an M to sew on it, but couldn't find one on my little travels. And then there was a whole series of movies, The Godfather 1 and 2, Chinatown, which has got to be one of the best dressed movies ever, The Way We Were, and Great Gatsby. Hugely influential, and I would go and see those movies, then be re-energised to go back to the Oxfam shop to see if I could find a double-breasted suit or a waistcoat or a overcoat. But that is me attempting to look like an extra from American Graffiti, which came out in 1973, I think. So that was my 1961 Volkswagen Beetle. I recall having an interest in clothes ever since my teenage years. I don't know where it came from, but I always wanted to be a little bit different. It was a bit difficult when you're a working class lad in the late 60s, early 70s with not much money to be different. In many ways, in 40 years, my style hasn't gone very far. The only thing that's changed is my waistline, I think, for the worst.